Kathleen Murphy, Superintendent of Schools for the Concord School District, and I'm taking some time this morning to share the middle school project with you. As you know, one of the important goals of our school board is around communication, and it's important that we try to communicate with all of our stakeholders in a way that's helpful to them. And some people like printed materials, other people prefer a video like this that I'm doing with you this morning. I'd like to start, if I could, talking a little bit about the history of the project. And as I reviewed all the documents, it's amazing. Back in 1970s, the school district did a land swap with the city and purchased, along with another piece of property owned by the Chamberlains, the 59 acres that now sits out in the east side behind the Broken Ground School and the Millbrook School. Then again, back in 1989, a visionary group of the school district, under the leadership of the superintendent back then, kind of looked at all of the school properties in the community and made some recommendations to the school board. And one of the recommendations was that the property out at the Broken Ground site be used for a future school. Either a high school or a middle school project. And they made a lot of recommendations in terms of that to meet the needs and accommodate our students. You know, there have been significant review of all aspects of the Runlet middle school facilities. That's the current site that now houses about 750 students. And they have looked at all kinds of parts of the school. The internal, which includes things like HVAC, windows, doors, all the systems, electrical, plumbing, that are part of that school, as well as the exterior. And they looked at the play fields, the playground recess area for students, certainly parking and traffic. Traffic through there, not only for our parents who drop off and pick up every day, but also for our bus traffic that rolls in every day and every afternoon with anywhere from 14 to 20 buses on a regular day. We looked at all of that. We provided an application for school building aid to the New Hampshire Department of Ed, and in that listed all of the deficiencies, and many of the items that I just addressed, whether it was HVAC or electrical or plumbing or the safety issues, are all outlined in the application that was submitted to the Department of Ed. And based on those deficiencies, we made some recommendations. The board began to look and review the location of the building. Certainly they knew that the Runlet site was there. That was never a question. But there were other sites throughout the community that prior to 2017, the board and members of the administrative team looked for sites in which the building could be sited on. And that, well, many believe that Runlet is in the heart of the southern part of Concord. There have been concerns about the long-term limitations of that site for athletics, and of course the disruptions that would occur during any construction, as well as what future needs the district may have for students at all levels, including our elementary as well as our middle and high school. With that in mind and an intensive review, the Broken Ground site was selected in December of '23. Another reason that, just as I provide some summary for you, another reason that the board selected that site was the differential, or if I would use the word delta, between the Runlet site and proposal for a middle school and the Broken Ground site. And there was a differential of $5,225,000. And that was a significant, made a significant impact on how the board voted in making that decision. And given that they owned that land, there was no need for purchase of that land, and had ownership of it since the late 70s, early 80s, that all factored into their decision. This was and currently we're well into the design. We're actually in phase 2 of a five-phase process. We have already done some site work, looking at the site, doing surveying, testing for soil samples, and we've had a number of agencies in looking at all kinds of factors, wetlands, as well as any endangered species and that kind of review by outside agencies to give feedback, ensuring that the site would be appropriate for middle school. Well, the final thing when we think about the summary of the project really falls on what the state will do in terms of building aid. The board has not made a decision to go forward until it's been established what Concord would receive for building aid. We're eligible for up to 40%, but until the legislature votes and until we're assured with an official letter that indicates funding, the board will await that final decision about the project. We anticipate that we will get notice about building aid in probably in June of 2025, and if that's known, then we would break ground in January of 26 with an opening of a middle school in 2028.